Hello, welcome in. So I wanted to talk about something or react to a video that I just saw on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, from someone that shared it. It's a video from a page called Left Voice, and I'm just assuming that it's having to do with left-leaning ideology. That's what I assume it's about. Anyways, but I thought it was an interesting one to react to because in the video, when you see it, well, first of all, the video is basically the people in Michigan who are protesting the government restrictions going on right now as a result of the situation currently going on. I'm not going to say the term for it because apparently YouTube doesn't like it, but they are doing a basically a drive-in kind of or a drive-up. I think they're calling it Operation Gridlock or something like that, where everyone comes out in their cars and drives the streets to basically cause traffic and congestion in protest. So they're doing that, and in this video, they are at an intersection. It looks like because there's crosswalk stripes. I'm looking at it off the side here. I'll try to link the post here below so you can watch the video yourself. So in this, there is a Dodge truck with obviously someone driving and a woman with her head out the window with a sign that says land free or land of the free, I think is what she really meant to say, but maybe not. And in front of the truck is what appears to be a nurse. I haven't verified if this is an actual nurse or someone dressed up as a nurse. This says that it's next to a hospital. So I haven't verified any of that. I don't live in Michigan, so I can't really say where this is. But that's not really kind of the point of why I'm reacting to this. But the nurse is blocking their truck from moving forward. Either they run him over, or he moves out of the way and lets them go, or they're stuck. And so, what I wanted to do here was explain why they are both in the wrong in this situation. And I didn't mean to not listen to it, but now I'm thinking about it, and I'm actually glad I haven't listened to this yet because I believe that is the one thing, as far as words go, that you can't be wrong about. You can say whatever you want, in my opinion, and it should be protected. So in this case, I am going to be reacting to and explaining why I think they are both in the wrong in this situation. Now, the basis of why they are both wrong is because they are both, for me, they are both blocking the streets. Um, of course, we have congestion and traffic in in a lot of parts of the country, especially where I am in California. But all those people are either trying to get to work, trying to get home from work, trying to go somewhere to live their life in the way they want to, right? The problem I have with this instance right here is they are purposely congesting the streets and potentially around hospitals in protest. In my opinion, this is wrong because you are potentially blocking an emergency vehicle from getting to the hospital to treat someone who has any sort of emergency. It could be related to the current situation going on or something that would be a normal emergency any other time of the year. Now, I did notice that these cars, most of the time, were moving, but of course, in some cases, when they get to a certain point, they really just want to block the street. I have that same theory about people who take their protests to freeways in California. That's happened quite a few times. And what that does is it blocks people from getting anywhere because you're not going to run someone over because you can't do that. So I'm using that same mindset here as well. Now, so that's why I think the people in the vehicles are wrong. The girl is clearly, saw a lip of her saying a bad word or a curse word, and I think she should be able to say that. And be completely honest here, but what they're doing action-wise is not okay in my opinion. Now, here is where the nurse or the person dressed as a nurse, because I don't know if it's an actual nurse, is wrong. They are blocking the car from moving forward, which is creating the traffic that all these cars are doing. So basically, the nurse is in the wrong because they're also preventing potentially an emergency vehicle from getting to the hospital as well. So in this case, this standstill where they are not coming to an agreement where I think personally, if I was in this situation where I was protesting, I was in that car, one, I would want to keep my car moving along because I don't want gridlock where it's not necessary. And two, I wouldn't, or two, I would get out of the car probably and actually try to talk some sense into people. First of all, I don't believe in blocking streets or blocking people from doing what they want to do anyway. So I don't know if I would, yeah, I don't know actually how, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, I don't know how I would actually approach that. I probably wouldn't be protesting in this way anyway, so that's probably what it is. But so I think in this case, they both could be in the wrong and can both be punished for this. And by punish, I mean an unlawful or an whatever protest in the street from the people in the vehicles and the cars that are blocking the streets, even though technically you can't stop someone from going somewhere, right? But at some point, if you're not really going anywhere in general, right? If you're not really have a purpose for being out and about, you shouldn't really be out and about, right? It's only asking for trouble, in my opinion. But if you want to go out somewhere, you should. So that's what they're protesting. But the nurse could be actually, I think, should be liable if there is an emergency vehicle that is coming in and they are purposely blocking vehicles from moving forward. I mean, how do you get away with that, right? You can't say that you help people and you wanna care for people, but then go out and block vehicles from traveling, even if they're vehicles that are out there for a reason that you don't agree with. You are potentially blocking an emergency vehicle from coming into the hospital that you work in, that you're supposed to be in there saving people. And so that was kind of my take on this, was they're both kind of in the wrong. At first glance, you're probably looking at it like, oh, what a brave nurse standing up for sick workers or sick populations or sick people, because they think the people protesting are putting others in danger by being in close proximity with each other. But if you really think about it, they're both in the wrong. And now I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to protest or say how you feel or say what you feel, but in this case, it's actually making it worse, what the nurse is doing and what these vehicles are doing. And so that was my take on this. And I was going to say one more thing, but I think I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know why. I wanted to give like a hot take on my lunch break because I saw this earlier this morning, and I just wanted to come on here and share that with you. I remembered what I was going to say. So here's the other part of this. So online right now, we are seeing a lot of videos of people or of nurses or hospitals filming these fun videos that they want to film to take a little bit of the stress off. Now I get wanting to have a little fun to kind of relax the environment, to make sure to get a little bit of that stress to go away in the environment, because it's obviously high stress. The problem I see with that is it is clearly contributing and supporting the argument that these hospitals are not as busy as we anticipated they would be. So the idea that our hospitals would be overwhelmed and would be not be able to take care of all these people, and they'd have to choose between who gets life and who gets death, or who get life and death and whatnot, is wrong. And I know that was based on projections and whatnot, and those projections are clearly all going to be wrong now that we know. But I just think this doesn't help that argument either, because if a nurse can stand outside and block vehicles that are protesting in a way that I don't agree with, isn't that supporting the idea that maybe these hospitals aren't as overwhelmed as we thought they would be, and that would actually support the protesters' argument that these shutdowns are going too far and that they're not really necessary. So I see both sides of this, really. And I actually think, now that I'm saying that part out loud, is the nurse might actually be causing more harm than good by doing what they're doing, because they're acknowledging that the hospitals aren't as busy as they should be, because if they're really that busy, they would need all hands on deck. Two, they're blocking other emergency vehicles from coming into the hospital. And three, they're actually supporting the argument of the people protesting in their cars that these lockdown measures are actually too extreme and should actually be lifted. So I think I'm going to end on that note. So my my conclusion is that they're both in the wrong, but it seems like the nurse is actually causing more problems. So I wanted to make sure to come on here and explain it in a word form, because I know in comment sections and in back and forths online, it can get not only really time consuming and messy, but it could get, a lot of stuff can get lost in translation because you're only reading words, you're not really hearing tone, and you're typing a message and another person could be sending like 3 or 4 because they're heated or whatever. You get your emotions involved. So I want to start doing more video responses or video reactions and thoughts on here. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this, and I will link the video down below so you can watch it yourself. I personally, like I said, am not taking into account the words that are being exchanged because to me, I think all speech should be allowed, even if it is threatening. It just would be a trigger for an investigation to see if more needs to be done. So we'll get into more of that as we go on, but I can't wait to do more videos like this, and thank you so much, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.